Okay, the next question was our most asked question.
Let's go.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, go.
Is masturbation a sin?
Woo! What?
Is masturbation a sin? Almost everyone, 90% of the people in the question box want to know, is masturbation a sin?
Right. Here's the reality. We don't like to shout where scripture whispers.
Yeah.
We like to say that. Or Ellis said it so many times that I'm like, I'm taking that. That's my new thing.
Well, Tara Lee Cobble from the Bible Recap says that. So
Yeah, okay. Well, you know what? You remember you give attribution 2 or 3 times, and then you say, I heard someone once say, and then it's yours.
That's
after
right.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
So I heard someone say, we don't scream where
Scripture whispers.
You see, I gotta still metabolize the phrase. The Bible does not explicitly say masturbation is a sin. However, the Bible does say if you lust after a woman in your heart, that is a sin. And so I would imagine it is quite difficult to masturbate without lusting. Babe, what do you think?
Well, this is a question that I really grappled with when I was single. And I think we even have a plan here at MR to have an entire podcast just on masturbation because so many people have asked about it. So
Count me in.
Yeah. So this is going to be one of like a shorter version of the answer. And actually, More Revolution did do a podcast on men and masturbation. We have one coming on women and masturbation.
Nice.
Yep. So stay tuned on that. I will say that when I was single and I was grappling with this question, it never even, first of all, it never occurred to me that it wasn't a sin until someone pointed out that it wasn't in the Bible. It just didn't even, I was like,
Okay.
I grew up and I was like, masturbation is a sin, right?
Right.
And then someone mentioned that it might not be. And all of a sudden I'm like, what? Oh? And so I kind of went on this journey of trying to figure out, well, what's right and what's wrong. And I do want to be righteous and
Right.
I want to steward.
Pure before the Lord.
Yeah. And I want to steward my sexual purity in a way that's honoring to God. Like that was my goal. And so I did some homework. I listened to some podcasts. I listened to people who, adamantly believed that masturbation was okay. Prior to marriage, and people who adamantly disagreed. And I realized that I was not going to be able to listen to a podcast or read a blog or anything like that and let them define whether that was okay or not for me.
Right. Because a lot of people would be looking for a hall pass.
Exactly.
Likely towards masturbation.
Totally.
Because the minute you say, yeah, masturbation is not wrong, then there's a floodgate that comes along with that.
And
that is opened with
I
that.
was looking for a hall pass.
Right.
I
think most normal people with a sex drive would be.
Totally. I was trying to find someone whose opinion I trusted.
Enough
To say, this is fine for me.
Right.
And I ultimately came to the conclusion that could I make some sort of allowance theologically? Maybe. Was it good for me?
Right.
What was it going to lead to?
Yeah.
And I just kind of came to the revelation that for me, it was going to be better to keep that door shut.
Right.
Scripture doesn't flat out say masturbation is wrong. It has a lot to say about lust. It has a lot to say about keeping the marriage bed undefiled.
Right.
And Song of Solomon talks about don't awaken love before. Is it Song of Solomon? Don't awaken love before it's time? We got to look that
question.
up. Yep, Song of Solomon.
It is.
Song of Solomon, don't awaken love
Or is
before
it
it's time.
Ecclesiastes?
It's Song of Solomon.
Song of Solomon. See, that was a test.
Yeah.
I was testing you.
I mean, if I'm wrong.
Congratulations, you passed.
If I'm wrong, we're going to get some emails. But yeah, so the scripture says, don't awaken love before it's time. And I just realized, you know what? I think for me, that would be awakening love before it's time.
Right.
And I don't actually want to make an allowance for something in the moment that's going to make something more difficult for me down the road.
Right. I'll also say this. The first time I stumbled onto masturbation, the way I felt afterwards was like, oh, I didn't feel good.
Right.
I mean, it kind of felt really shameful.
Yeah.
And so, there's probably, a subsidiary of the audience who struggled with it for so long that maybe some of that feeling of remorse has kind of worn off, and I would hate to even say that, but I would like to encourage you to trace your journey, and where your journey was more of a philosophical, and theological, and all of these things, where mine was a little more experiential. I think that taking all of that into consideration of the narrative is good. I think the other thing is, if you're codependent on it, then I don't care what it is, it's probably not good.
Right.
I mean, it could be Diet Coke. You know what I mean? Everything, I think everything except for coffee is on the table.
Oh my goodness.
What? No, I mean, even the Lord wakes up and has a good cup of coffee.
Sacrilege.
No, but in all actuality, I think anytime there could be an addiction partnered with it, then it's something that you should heavily question.
Totally. The other piece to this is, what's your motivation behind it?
Right.
And are you using masturbation as a means to escape pain?
Right.
Because our generation, and I would just say the world, I don't even know if a previous generation had this figured out. But I think as human beings, we are wired to escape pain.
Right.
And escaping pain and healing from pain are two different things.
Right.
And so if you use masturbation as a tool to escape pain, it's like, great, you feel fine, you feel great in a moment, but you never actually dealt with what the root of the thing that was causing you pain, stress, or discomfort was.
Right.
You've never actually received the healing that you need.
And so there is a lot, there's more sustainably healthy ways to deal with the actual reason why you're wanting to masturbate. And I think that that's a different conversation for another day. You're right. Yep. This is kind of a sneak peek of things that we're going to get into in the future.
Totally.